Hello, I'm John Bachman. There's a new deal for peace in Ukraine, but there are still questions about the details. French President Francois Hollande says his country and Germany will verify that the ceasefire does take effect on schedule, which is supposed to happen Sunday. Russia's president has said that the deal will also include giving the rebel groups backed by Russia some autonomy, but Ukraine's president says that is not part of the deal. We'll see what happens. The House Foreign Relations Committee has now been debating the president's request for new authority to fight ISIS. The president and his request, he sent it over yesterday. The time frame is 3 years, and it leaves out authority for a ground war. Republicans say we should not be putting limits on the president's options.
I believe that if we're going to authorize the use of military force, the president should have all the tools necessary to win the fight that we're in.
Well, New York Congressman Peter King tells Newsmax that the president should not be sending signals about what he's willing to do and is abdicating his responsibility. Democrats love the city of brotherly love, and they've picked Philadelphia now to host next year's Democratic National Convention, which will be in late July. Republicans will hold their convention a week earlier in Cleveland. And Yemen is collapsing right before our eyes. Those are the words of the UN Secretary General today as Iran-backed Houthi rebels consolidate their power. A UN envoy says the country, which is home to the dangerous branch of al-Qaeda known as AQAP, or al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, is on the brink of a civil war, and another offshoot of al-Qaeda has reportedly captured an army base in southern Yemen. And testimony continues today in Texas in the trial of the man charged with killing 2 people, including Navy SEAL sniper Chris Kyle. Eddie Ray Rouse defense lawyers say he didn't know what he was doing at the time of those 2 murders. They're claiming insanity as a defense. Yesterday, they showed a text message that Kyle had sent about Routh just before the shooting 2 years ago.
He texted him that this dude is straight up nuts.
Well, yesterday, Kyle's widow took the stand. She described her husband as a humble and kind man. And CBS News is remembering a friend and colleague, longtime reporter Bob Simon, who has died. He died in that car crash last night when the car he was riding in hit another car and slammed into a barricade. Simon's career at CBS spanned decades and wars. It started back in 1967. In 1991, he was held in an Iraqi prison for 40 days.
Bob Simon had a remarkable touch in terms of the command of language, as well as an ability to put himself where it was a time that good reporting was needed.
Well, most recently, he'd been working on a 60-minute story about the search for an Ebola cure. That story is expected to air as scheduled this coming Sunday. Bob Simon was 73 years old. And it has been no fun being outside in parts of Egypt. There was a huge dust storm there yesterday. We'll take you that. Oh, we got there. You can see it. More of that coming up in a future story. Now we'll send it back to Midpoint with Ed Berliner.